Number 11, 1979 Pontiac Firebird Formula 400 W72. Everyone talks about the Trans Am, but in 1979, the real underdog was hiding in plain sight. The Firebird Formula 400 with the W72 package. Under the hood was the last gasp of true Pontiac VE8 power, a 400 cubic inch engine rated at 220 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque. Not wild numbers, but with the right gearing, the W72 formula could do 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds and run the quarter in 15 flat. That made it one of the fastest American cars of '79, by a mile. It came with WS6 suspension, front and rear sway bars, a rear disc brake option, and 15x8 snowflake wheels. The Trans Am got the glory, but the formula was the scalpel, lighter, cleaner, and just as deadly. Visually, it skipped the flashy bird decals. Instead, it wore a subtle shaker hood, dual exhaust, and a quiet stance that only real drivers appreciated. It was the sleeper in the Firebird family, and it moved like one. Pontiac saved its sharpest edge for those paying attention. And just when you thought GM was out of ideas, Chevrolet slipped a Corvette engine into their budget coupe and kept the streets alive. Number 10, 1977 Chevrolet Monza Mirage 350. The Monza was supposed to be GM's answer to rising fuel prices. But then Chevy did something wild. They stuffed a 5.7-liter 350 V8 into it and called it the Mirage. The Mirage package was mostly cosmetic, flared fenders, two-tone paint, and graphics. But when paired with the 350, it became one of the sneakiest muscle coupes of the late 70s. It made 170 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque, but in a car that barely cracked 3,000 pounds, it had punch. 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds, quarter mile in 15.3, and it didn't look fast. It looked like a custom compact with attitude. Just a few hundred were made in 1977. Most buyers didn't even realize they could order a Monza with a V8. But the ones who did, they got a factory sleeper with real teeth. The Monza Mirage was a drag strip trick disguised as a commuter. Light, torquey, and quick off the line. Chevy didn't market it like a muscle car, but it behaved like one. While everyone was looking at Camaros and Novas, this little oddball was out there taking wins. And now for something nobody expected. A Mustang with no V8, no rear-wheel drive, and no business being this quick. Number 9, 1976 Ford Mustang Cobra 2302. Yeah, we know. Mustang 2 usually means eye rolls. But hang on. In 1976, the Cobra 2 version with the 302 V8 was more than just 70s cosplay. It actually moved. Ford gave it a 5-liter V8 with 140 horsepower and about 240 pound-feet of torque. Weak? Sure. But the car was tiny, under 3,000 pounds, and with a 4-speed manual and the right rear end, it pulled 0 to 60 in about 7.5 seconds. The quarter mile? Low 16s, better than some late 70s Camaros, and a whole lot more stylish. The Cobra 2 package added stripes, spoilers, hood scoops, and a serious racing vibe. It looked like a miniature Mach 1, but it wasn't all show. It came with sport suspension, performance tires, and just enough bite to surprise people who weren't paying attention. It's not a classic muscle car, but for a brief window, it gave Mustang fans something to brag about again, and gave the Camaro guys a reason to sweat. And while the Mustang 2 played dress-up with performance, another Ford product built overseas didn't have to pretend. It just showed up and outran everything.